Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is January 31st, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop, and you don't need me to tell you if you're across portions of Northern California, down near the Bay Area, the rainfall is ongoing, and we've got a subtropical tap with this one, and it's going to be with us for a while. This is going to drop some exceptionally heavy rainfall for some areas, mainly Bay Area north, but there is the chance for frontal systems, and perhaps even impactful frontal systems, getting down towards Southern California. We'll explore the latest on that here as we go through the video this morning, and you can see the rainfall off and on for the Bay Area, more persistent the further north you go, and lots more to come, folks. Category 4 atmospheric river for some of the coastal locations, and we'll dive into those details here in a moment. But if you want a nice affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get here across the west coast of North America, this is a great one. Stores all the data for you in the cloud. This thing is so easy to set up, only takes about 5 minutes. Highly recommend it. Click on that link down below to get one. Helps out the channel a bit as well. California drought monitor. We got moderate, severe, and extreme drought here, mainly central and southern California. And a lot of this rainfall, again, is going to be helping areas just on the northern fringe of this and northern California, where they don't need it as much. So we're really rooting for some of those frontal systems to make their way down through Southern California. We'll take a look at what the European model says on the latest run. Here's Sacramento talking about storm timeline as we go through this first week of February coming up here. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. See the snow levels bumping around between 4 and 5,000, 6,500 feet. Initially a bit higher as we go through 7,000 feet on through Saturday and Sunday. But storm number 1, as we go through Sunday, you can see just through Sunday, big amounts. You know, you're looking 2 to 3 inches, fairly widespread across a lot of the Sacramento Valley. San Francisco, 2 to 3. Look at Fort Bragg, 3 to 4. Eureka, 2 to 3. You know, watch out for those debris and mud flows and whatnot, and water over a roadway and things of that nature. So we bring that snow level fairly high as we go through Friday night, but then we're going to be dropping it back down as we go through the weekend. This is Sacramento as well. Look at the widespread flood watch that is in effect. Winter weather advisories, some snow across the higher terrain. There are still some winter storm warnings out there, and high wind watch east slopes of the Sierra Nevada, especially across Nevada and east slopes there down towards the California-Nevada border. Now, this is the pattern shift, of course. We're already ongoing here with this. This was updated yesterday. San Francisco Bay Area. Look at that, 4 to 6 in the first week of February. Santa Rosa, Cloverdale is right there. So a lot of rainfall incoming, moderate impacts, maybe even getting upgraded here as we go through the next few days. Now, Los Angeles backed off on their wording here for the frontal system, but we're going to look at the European here in a moment. They're probably just kind of hedging their bet a little bit. I'll show you that starting right now. So this is hot off the presses, the 12Z European model. Here we go. We're streaming this moisture in as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. And I mean, look at this subtropical tap. This is a classic Pineapple Express atmospheric river. Atmospheric river can have nicknames. One of the nicknames you can give a pineapple atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. A Pineapple Express isn't a thing on its own. It's just a nickname for an atmospheric river. So again, atmospheric river will be pouring in for the next few days. Here we go through Sunday, still continuing on. We go on in through Monday, still continuing, bouncing back and forth. And then we get this storm system development here that could push that frontal system down across Point Conception and then Southern California. Much needed rainfall. Again, this would be very beneficial. Hopefully this does come into fruition. I'm glad that this morning's European model is showing that. Now, as we scroll through the extended forecast a bit more, 168 hours out, this is about the morning of February 7th, additional systems coming for the state of California. Are we going to remain cold across the Pacific Northwest, which will help perhaps spawn some additional systems that could reach Southern California? That is the question as we go through the extended forecast. We'll be watching that on a daily basis as well. Now, looking at the atmospheric river potential here on the European, again, I mean, you don't need to be a meteorologist to know this is a lot of vapor transport just absolutely rushing into the Bay Area and northern portions of California. It bounces around. I mean, we're scrolling through here 6-hour chunks just nonstop. And then eventually we get the kicker here and it pushes this frontal system down across Southern California through the end of the period there. If I back that up, you can see that atmospheric river starting to weaken, but it is affecting California by the time we go on into what we're looking all the way out towards on February 4th, the afternoon of February 4th is when that starts to slide south. Well, so we'll be watching that one. We got a few days to go to see just how much rain Southern California will get out of this. And I've selected this here. You can see again, atmospheric river AR4, strong, not quite extreme there, but again, it's going to be just pouring into central and northern California over the next few days. Now, this is the GFS, precipitable water. So we've been looking at the European, and again, look at this subtropical or tropical tap, whatever you want to call it. And again, connected all the way into California. Just an absolute conveyor belt of moisture. And again, you can nickname that atmospheric river whatever you want. But yeah, you can call it the Poke Express if you want, but a lot of people like to call it the Pineapple Express when it comes from Hawaii, and then you can kind of see it going down towards Southern California a bit there on the GFS. And in fact, let's check that out a bit more, because I want to see what the 12Z GFS brings for Southern California. Does it completely dissolve that frontal system by the time it gets down there? Well, here we go through the 4th, and it does bring some, but the precipitation amounts are lighter. But I guess it's better to have the European on your side versus the GFS. And we scroll up into the extended forecast, and it shows a little bit of precipitation for Southern Cal, but not too much, not what the European was showing. Now, take a look at wind speeds. I also want to mention this. We're getting blustery conditions along some of the northwest coast, some of the higher terrain. See these southerlies ripping across the area, southwest winds across the Sierra Nevada, east slopes of Sierra Nevada, some gusty winds up the Sacramento Valley, the Bay Area. And as we go on in towards Saturday morning, look at this frontal boundary just hung up just right across the Bay Area. That is that atmospheric river. And look at some of these winds across the higher terrain, just ripping as we go through Saturday and on in through Sunday. Let me play that through here and let's let this go on loop for a minute. You can see the boundary just hung up right across the Bay Area there, the southerlies there versus the more northerly winds on the north side. And again, the higher terrain wind as we go on in through this weekend. So if you're out across the backcountry, be prepared for that. And if we look at the composite reflectivity, so the Doppler radar may look like over the next 60 hours, you can see the continuation of this rainfall as we go through the afternoon hours just being replenished by that atmospheric river back into the state, the mountain snows, and we can continue this on all the way on in through next week at times. And hopefully, again, we'll include Southern California as we get off in towards next week. Now, take a look at this. This is probability of snowfall exceeding 48 inches. This is just a 10-to-1 ratio here, but this is what we have to work with. You see, there's not many other options here. It's just a 10-to-1 ratio. But look at this. That's 4 feet of snow there. So the percentages and the chances of that occurring, some heavy snowfall through the forecast here over the next 7 to 10 days or so, quite high. There's 2 feet. Virtually 90 to 100% chance across a wide spread of the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, Klamath Range, including some of the Siskiyous there. And then if you look at probability of 24-hour snowfall equal to or exceeding 6 inches, we're going to be going over that back and forth here as we go through this upcoming week as well. So yeah, we got some good snow potential for the higher terrain. Total precipitation in inches. Now, some of the crazy stuff showing up here on the European. Here we go through the day today into tomorrow. The rain just continues to pile up. I mean, you can just see it bullseyeing the coast and some of the foothills there, the Sacramento Valley. My goodness, mercy. And then take a look at that swing down across Southern California. That would be a very beneficial rainfall event. So crossing my fingers, that is going to start trending in the model runs. Now, if we take a look at the European ensemble mean, there's 50 ensemble members. We take each one of their initial conditions and we change them a little bit to try to correct for our misunderstandings in our initial conditions of the atmosphere. And if we scroll out, I mean, my goodness, look at this ensemble agreement on some of these heavy precipitation amounts. And this is nice to see that the European ensemble mean does have greater than a half an inch for some of Los Angeles and Orange County, and even some higher amounts across the higher terrain, some of the coastal areas as well. So that's good to see. The ensembles are coming into some agreement on the European for some Southern California rain, but just ridiculous gobsmacked amounts of rainfall here across central and northern California as we go on through the extended forecast. We're no doubt going to have flooding issues going on here. So yeah, stay tuned. Check back daily. GFS total precipitation. Let's run through this. Boom, same area bullseye there. Coastal range, Sacramento Valley, Bay Area getting some big amounts. And of course, the GFS was on the lighter side there for Southern California. But look at some of these ridiculous amounts. They needed a new scale here. Some of those areas are showing up over 20 inches of precipitation during this time frame. So yeah, crazy stuff. And also we're going to have wave activity. It is still winter, and you can see some of that wave action riding back in here, especially as we go through early next week, perhaps spreading down towards Southern California as we go through Wednesday morning as well. So heads up for that. 6 to 10 day precipitation makes sense, doesn't it? Below normal temperatures across a lot of the west. 8 to 14 day, a lot of the west below normal. The 14-day precipitation. Hopefully we can start to trend that a little bit wetter for Southern California. But anyway, Yeah, click like and subscribe if you guys haven't done so. And thanks to all my supporting members. This channel is not possible without you. If you guys didn't know, I have another channel called Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. We're dealing with some snowfall potential up here, so crazy times for the west coast of North America. But anyway, we'll do this all again tomorrow. We'll take a look at the latest and hopefully that rainfall trends for Southern California.